Compute the quotient x cubed plus x squared minus 9x plus 7 divided by x minus 1. We'll work this problem in two different fashions. The first way is using long division. You're probably used to using long divisions with numbers, but they can also be used with polynomials. So what we do is we write the numerator in here, x cubed plus x squared minus 9x plus 7. The thing we're dividing into that polynomial is x minus 1, so that looks like that. The first position to fill in the long division is this position right here, and we ask ourselves, what do we have to multiply x minus 1 by to eliminate the x cubed term here? And the correct value to put in there is x squared, and here's why. When you take your x squared and you multiply it by x minus 1, you get x cubed minus x squared. And the same way we always do long division, that needs to get subtracted from the term up above it. And notice that when we subtract x cubed minus x cubed, we get 0. So here we get x squared minus a minus x squared, and that turns out to be 2x squared, and everything else just drops through, minus 9x plus 7. Now the next term that we want to fill in will go right up here, and we ask ourselves, what do we want to multiply x minus 1 by to get rid of this 2x squared term? And the answer there is we want to multiply x minus 1 by 2x. So multiply now 2x times x minus 1, and what do you get? You get 2x squared minus 2x. Once again, in long division, you subtract here, and when you take 2x squared and subtract out 2x squared, you get 0, as it should be by design. And when you take negative 2x and take minus a minus 2x, that's the same as adding 2x, so you wind up there with a negative 7x plus 7. Now the final step here is to ask the question, what do we multiply x minus 1 by to eliminate the negative 7x term here? And that answer is we multiply by a negative 7. So when you take negative 7 and you multiply it by x minus 1, you get negative 7x plus 7. And once again, when you subtract that, you get 7x plus 7x, which is 0, and you get 7 minus 7, which is also 0. So here you have no remainder. It divides evenly. So the answer to the question is this quotient right here is the numerator divided by the denominator. Now there is another way that involves a lot less writing, which is known as synthetic division, and this problem can also be solved by synthetic division. When you're doing synthetic division, you start out by writing just the coefficients, namely 1, 1, negative 9, and 7. So let's start out by writing those. 1, 1, negative 9, and 7. The next step is to take the denominator, which is x minus 1, and write a 1 over here. Most people draw a line in this fashion. So what we're going to do in synthetic division is simply drop this number 1 down. That's the first step. Then what we do is we multiply 1 times 1, and that gives us a 1, which goes right here. And then what you do is add. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And then you take this 2 and multiply it by 1, and that gives you a 2. And then you add negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. That negative 7 gets multiplied by 1, and that is a negative 7. Finally, you add 7 plus negative 7 gives you 0. This 127 that you see at the bottom here with no remainder, those are the coefficients here, 1, 2, and negative 7. So in this particular case, either way, either by long division or by synthetic division, the quotient of those two polynomials is x squared plus 2x minus 7.